My name is Celia Anderson. I'm the Executive Director within the East of England Energy Group, EEEGR, which is the trade association looking after energy companies within the East of England. Today was very important for a number of reasons. It's the biggest of the conferences that we've ever held. It means that we've had international speakers. We've also had some local speakers right the way across the type of interest that we've got in the Southern North Sea. It's a very clear demonstration of the capability of the companies within this region. It's a business networking event predominantly, and so there's a lot of opportunity to talk to companies that would give contracts in the longer term. It's also to understand the more strategic elements of where the business is going to be, what resources we need to do, and how we're going to fit into that supply chain within this region. So it's been really exciting having some of the local companies, the rapid growth companies that will support the industry going forward. So we heard from Blair Ainsley from Seajax first thing this morning. But also to listen to the more strategic pieces where we had Mark and Webb from Oil and Gas UK, for example. And to bring in people like Peter Gillett to talk about the opportunities in the German market and how we can fit into that and some of the financing. So it's been really quite an exciting opportunity to hear from a full diversity of people at very senior level, but also balancing that with the business opportunities associated with both oil and gas and offshore wind. Because we've heard from the likes of John Westwood as to how exciting the opportunities are, how big the opportunities are, but for that we actually need to make sure that people understand how their company fits into it to win the business going forwards. And so that has been the primary aim of today, is to give them some of the information, give them access to the people that will be letting the contracts, and the chance to talk to others to understand how they fit into that market. We heard from David Edwards earlier on, who reinforced the view that there are substantial needs, substantial numbers of people needed and investment to make sure that we've got the apprentices, the graduates, and also some of the reskilling and upskilling of people coming into the industry where they've got an existing skill base. The sorts of things that we've been doing under the Skills for Energy programme are fully supporting that sort of approach, where it is about bringing in apprentices. We have a pre-apprenticeship programme with Lowestoft College, which is the Energy Skills Foundation programme, and we had some of the students from that here. We had 16 of them here today. We've also done quite a lot of work with one of the universities to develop engineering programmes, so bachelor's and master's degree courses. And also, when we're talking about the reskilling and bringing people into the industry, for example, we work a lot with the military to help them understand how their skills transfer very readily into the industry. And in some cases, a little bit of tweaking, but also to give them, make it as easy as we can do for them to come in. Very, very keen to get the message across that we do need the engineers, but we also need the technical levels, we need the craft levels. But you can't run a company with only engineers. And so there are opportunities right the way through the industry, and particularly as the industry grows, for receptionists, the business admin, even the finance is one of the key areas on procurement and contract management, for example, going across. So trying to make sure that we bring people in at all the different skill levels, but on both the commercial as well as the technical, the engineering side of things is going to be fundamental going forward. And the shortages, and one of the most challenging areas, is going to be on the project management side of things, which fits somewhere between the two. So a lot of what we do is trying to make sure that people are aware that this is an opportunity for a lot of people coming in, not just the highly skilled, the specialist areas. It's about providing opportunities right the way across the population. I think the short-term focus obviously is going to be on the epicentre, because that is about making sure that we have the industry training in place. Epicentre is a really exciting opportunity. It is to facilitate the provision of training for the industry within this region. Where I say facilitate, there's a lot of the industry training is done overseas or elsewhere, and this is to try and make sure that a lot more of the provision is done locally. Now, it will also be supporting things like apprenticeships, and I'll use the phrase hub and spoke, but it is a part of the jigsaw. It's trying to make sure that there is a much stronger interrelated link between the colleges, the universities, the training providers to meet the needs of the industry. It's fundamental. We've heard today about the substantial opportunities we've got ahead of us, but it's going to be fundamental to attracting other companies into the region and helping companies here to grow. Because you can't have a growing business without the people, without the skills. And companies will operate more effectively and will be attracted to areas where they know that the skills issues are being addressed and there are people with the skills when they need them. And so this will be the ideal opportunity actually to try and promote what we do here. It will be a national centre of excellence. It just happens to be based in the East of England and supporting companies in the East of England. And this isn't about jobs, this is about trying to ensure that people have the skill base to meet the contractual needs now and facilitate movement between sectors, which gives them the greatest opportunity to go and compete in whatever market is the one that they have a skills base that they can operate within. Underpinning all of that, there needs to be a more strategic approach to working with schools so that people can recognise it isn't only about engineers, it is about the opportunities right the way across. So that even if somebody wants to go into business admin, we need business admin. They may not recognise they're coming into energy. It doesn't matter. There's opportunities right the way across the piece. Summer conference, 18th of July, you're right. As we've already demonstrated with this conference, this one was bigger and better than any of the others we've held. The summer conference will be bigger and better than the last one that we held. It's going to be in Norwich. Can't say much more about that at the moment. One of the things about the summer conference, it tends to be all energy. It's right the way across the spectrum. This one focuses on the southern North Sea, so more naturally it's going to be offshore wind and oil and gas. We're looking at a slightly different approach to bring in a new audience. Now, one of the things that's very important for companies is they don't want to talk to each other, they want to talk to the new business opportunities. And so it's the reason we have to look at how do we bring in very high profile people from a slightly different area, ones that we've not heard from before, and it's got to be underpinned by these are business opportunities, so how do they get involved with it?